There's two kinds of smart people. There's smart people that take very simple things and make them sound very complicated so they can enrich themselves. And there are people who take very complicated things and make them sound simple to empower other people.
We have been able to hold together the coalition of 2008. That coalition, which people said was catching lightning in a bottle, it was only about Barack Obama's smile, it was only about George W. Bush. Surprise, surprise, it is not true. There is, in fact, a governing coalition that's emerging in this country. It looks different, it talks different, it thinks different, and has a different view. We went from exhilaration in 2008 to confirmation. And I think for a lot of people, they weren't sure was this an accident in history. Yeah. No, this country is great enough that we can get beyond the racial segregation of a very recent past and do this not just once but twice.
We used to invest. Yeah. We used to invest in young people. We said we're going to educate a generation of Americans so they can go out and outcompete the world. Now we say, it's you, it's your career, good luck. We tripled the tuition on these young people. That's not just bad for the kids, that's bad for the country. No country in the world is refusing to invest in educating its kids. China's doing it, India's doing it, Brazil's doing it. They're making it easier for their kids to get educated. So the richest people ever born don't have to pay a penny more in taxes. We're abandoning a whole generation of Americans. My father was born in abject poverty in rural Tennessee under the most brutal kind of segregation imaginable. My dad joined the military in the middle of a conflict. He got out, he put himself through college, he put his little brother through college, he put his cousin through college, he put me through college and my sister through college. My dad single-handedly, we often say, got our whole family out of poverty, the American dream. But whenever we would tell that story about his single-handed accomplishment, he would say, hold on a second. I know a little something about getting folks out of poverty. I did it myself. He says, I don't agree with you liberals. He said that to me. And I don't agree with the conservatives either. He said, you can't give a kid anything that's going to stop him from being poor. You can't give a kid any money and stop them from being poor. If they're still poor in their heart and in their mind and in their spirit, they'll be poor again tomorrow. You can stop them from being broke with some money, but you can't stop them from being poor. The child has a responsibility to climb the ladder out of poverty, him or herself, on their own efforts, so they stay out of poverty. But grown folks have to make sure there is a ladder for that child to climb. That's the responsibility of grown people. In other words, the American dream has always been co-authored by two generations, both meeting their responsibilities. And we are now in a situation where I believe our generation is failing to make sure there is a ladder for the next generation to climb. There was only one issue this entire year that Obama and Romney agreed on publicly and passionately and quickly. The issue was the question of student loans. The student loan rate was about to double from 3.4% to 6.8%. Most people are borrowing at 0% or 1%. These kids, to go to college in America, we're going to have to borrow at 6.8%. It was going to wipe out a whole generation. It's going to happen this spring. And unfortunately, it turns out high school seniors don't have a big lobbying presence in Washington, D.C. So this thing was just sailing through. And we pointed out to this emerging generation, and they got busy. And from a pure social media standpoint, it was a phenomenon. And you literally had Obama and Romney rushing over each other to get to a microphone to say they were going to put an end to it. And they were able to. I think we're at a choice point. And the choice is simply this. As Americans, are we going to turn to each other or on each other? Are we going to turn to each other or on each other? There is a generation that is bigger than the baby boomers right behind us. They have your technology, but left to their own devices, some of them are just doing flash mobs and committing acts of violence. They don't create the American dream on their own. No generation has. This should just be an excess economy. It should be an access economy. There should be the opportunity for us to stand together. There is a generation of young people that desperately needs work. And there is a great deal of work in our country that needs to be done. If we can connect this generation that desperately wants work with the work that most needs to be done, we can build a new American century, we can put that ladder back up, and we can keep the American dream alive.